Hey, welcome to Critters in Taiwan, a D&D podcast about Critical Role, where a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons and Dragons. We are Critters in Taiwan, and I'm Ben.
I am Tim.
And we're sitting in our homes in Taiwan. I'm in Kaohsiung.
I am in Taichung.
Yeah, and we're gonna sit and talk to you guys about Critical Role.
Shit, yeah.
This week's episode. Yeah, brand new episode. Episode
Shit,
2.
what was it called? I forgot what it was called. Fairies and Dust or something?
Day of Destiny. Destiny and something. We should know that.
Should. Yeah, well, it just came up on YouTube when I was looking at YouTube shit earlier.
Something about Destiny, a Day of Destiny or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't really tend to pay attention to the titles that much.
My YouTube knows me, so it, when Two Bears, One Cave comes out, it's another podcast I watch. It comes up with the Trial by Firelight.
Oh, Trial by Firelight. Well, maybe the first one was something about Destiny then.
Yeah, cool. Draw of Destiny or something. Yeah.
Right, that's what it was. Yes. Yeah. So let's get started.
Let's get started. Fuck yeah.
I got a brand new D20. This is what D20 that I bought in Taiwan. So my D20 from last week failed me. I'm gonna roll this one a little bit. Hopefully this one rolls better.
Yeah, I was pretty stoked about winning today, but today I'm like, I might save that point for next time. I'm not sure.
Sure.
We'll see. It might stick around for a little bit.
Before we go, if you're new to this, all spoilers about everything Critical Role. We will be spoiling everything. So if you're not up to date on what's happening in Critical Role, now's your chance. Go.
Yep. And put the kids to bed. We're going to be swearing.
Yep.
It's not a fucking waterfall of swear words, but they're going to come out. If you've seen the show, you know we're the same rating as the show.
That's right.
Cool. All right. Are we ready to roll?
Let's do it.
Okay. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
I got me a nice little 4.
I got a 19.
19. Hard to beat that.
This dice is hot. Okay. I'm gonna start it off. I'm gonna start off with something real simple. This was the Halloween episode. So I'd like to talk a little bit about those Halloween costumes that they were wearing.
Finally, they did it.
Finally, they did it. We've been talking about this one for years, I think. Well, not we, but like the community has been talking about this for years now. When are they going to do the swap? And I thought the choices were really, really fun. They did a really fun little thing with swapping each other out. Go for it. Who was your favorite swapped player?
Oh man, and this has something to do with this thing.
Okay, well here I'll throw it right back to you then. What do you think?
Oh, geez. All right. So I thought the impressions. I mean, the first thing you see is Matthew being Laura. You know, right. And I don't remember if he said and there's a bunch of us nerdy ass voice actors. I don't remember if he did it in her voice as an impression.
He 100% did.
Did he? I forgot.
Absolutely, he did. Yeah, he was like, "Hi."
That's right. I love the green dress that she wears. You know, like
so good, good.
And like the ponytail, which I think it was his hair growing it out for so long, and then he went cleanly shaven, which you haven't seen in a long time with that guy.
I know. They went all out. That's the thing with those kind of costumes is that they really need to change who they are. It's really good.
I think Robbie looked amazing as Matthew.
It was really good because he's got the hair and he shaved also. Right?
Yeah.
No, he did shave. He did shave. He was very clean and
the blue shirt with the vest, you know, and
the power bracelets.
And his hair's basically the same as his, except not quite as controlled. Matthew's is just like a Pantene Pro V commercial, you know.
Yep. Those locks.
Who was my favorite though?
I'll tell you what my favorite was.
Go ahead.
Ashley motherfucking Johnson.
She was Tarv.
Dude,
she was Travis.
As Travis. It was brilliant. I fucking loved it. The giant big puffed up bodysuit with the pecs. Her pecs kept, they kept coming in, and
she was doing this a lot. That Sam pointed out. She was like stroking that cleavage so much.
Stroking the cleavage. And then the sweat from with her pasted on, glued on beard and goatee.
Yeah. You could see it actually covering her mouth every now and then because she was like, "Oh, it's sweating. It's just becoming one." You're like pushing it up.
So good.
It was good.
Yeah. I mean, they were all great. I liked Marisha's as Taliesin as well.
She did a pretty good job when she introduced herself.
Yeah, I mean, they she dyed her hair purple to match Taliesin's.
Was that dye? It looked like a wig,
pink.
maybe.
I think it was just spray paint. I think they just spray
Yeah.
painted.
All right. I thought I saw like bigger
Because
fibers than hair.
yeah, maybe,
Could be. I'd have to go back and look, but
Mhm.
whatever she did, it looked great.
Yeah, it
I'm.
was very good.
I was like, she didn't buzz down the hair on the sides. I don't think.
No, that would have been a little extreme. It would have been
Yeah.
cool.
She's done it
but
before,
yep,
for her own.
the side cuts, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. Yeah, so that was I mean, my easily favorite was Ashley's. I love that she went full on Travis, like the big giant dumb jock, and it was great. It was perfect. It was beautiful.
Oh, my favorite part of hers was like when she does her impression of Travis and then went
Oh, the sniffs. Yeah, that beautiful sniff that he always does. Yeah, I know.
like
Yeah,
everybody he does it especially as
all
Bertrand
the
Bell,
time.
he's sniffing all the time. He's like, "Oh, of
Every
course
time
they know who I am." The
at
Travis
the end
comes
of
through.
every sentence, at the end of every little thing that he says, he does that little, yeah, like that
Yeah.
snooty. It's so cute, right? Because it comes off as like this slightly, I don't know if it's a Texas thing or if it's just a Travis thing or what it is,
I
but
think it's just
yeah,
Travis, yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah,
It's
and he
quite,
does it all the
it's
time when he's like saying something
great.
maybe in jest, or if it's like a bit out there, or if he's busting
Mhm.
character. It's like if it's a Travis choice instead of a character choice.
Totally.
Maybe like, I think we
Totally.
should go find a fucking ring downstairs and fight some sons of bitches. Like that's not Ford, is it?
No, that's very much Travis. I'm pretty sure if you go back and you watch Grog or any of the other characters that he does, it's probably there as well.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to take a crack at your next topic?
Oh man, yeah, going through these things once again, like they're not really strong topics, but I got one here.
Okay, go for
Another one that was kind of a fan favorite. Did we want to roll for this, or do we want to just jump into it?
No, let's do a little. I'll roll for we roll one, and then
All
I'll
right.
do whoever the winner, and then we'll go back. Then we'll roll again.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, we're figuring out. We want to roll, and we got to figure out how it makes it.
I want to
how
I want
it
to roll the
flows.
dice all the time as much as
Yeah.
possible.
Okay. Another thing that I really enjoyed about the episode, especially towards the end, I don't know if it happened in the beginning, but they ukatoa'd Ladna
Oh,
when she did her
that was
spells, and they were just like,
yes.
oh,
Yes.
with different whispering things. Like Travis was like,
I know.
and
Mhm.
other people were doing that. I hope they keep that at least for a little bit.
Yep.
I love
That
it
was
so much.
that was Dissonant Whispers, eh? That's a fun
Is it?
spell. I had
Okay.
yeah,
I've only seen it once. I feel kind of bad.
yeah,
like once and a half.
It's a what is it? It's in a third party book. It's in the Xander's Guide to Everything, I think.
Okay.
It's in one of the books. One of the a character that I play, a bard that I played, had it, and I used it a lot. And I used to cast it a very similar way, where I just be sort of like a whispering discordantly into the ears. Having her use it as a sorcerer warlock is a real fun way to do it, especially with the creepy goth vibe that she's got, right? Yeah, I really hope the rest of the cast accompanies her for that. It'd be great. It'd be tons of fun. Like you said, like they ukatoa it. It'd be so good.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, that's just one of those things that it's one of those quirks that the team, the players have. That there's a
For sure.
Well, I guess I don't know the point about this. I don't think I wrote it down, but it should be in my phone. As far as like the first episode, we're sitting back and watching. We get our popcorn and we sit back and we watch because they have secrets, and we're not on their team yet,
Right.
And then somewhere between like the second episode or maybe even the third, it may have happened already, where it's like we already know. So there's no secrets now anymore because their backstories or whatever. Yeah, they've still got their things that they haven't said. But we're getting closer to back into, like we know who they are and until they.
We're starting to get comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, there's a huge difference between the first episode and the second episode, and then beyond then it becomes more like, okay, all of the viewers are on the same team as all the players, and then Matthew has whatever setting set up for that, and it's kind of not exactly, but kind of like players versus Matt. And so this second episode, now that we're allowed to be with them in the team as viewers, it was more engaging in my experience, and I loved it. It was great. It felt like I was back home.
Agreed. One of the things that I wrote down, the big takeaways that I got out of this episode was exactly this point. The party cohesion is happening a lot faster than it did in. Well, we didn't see the party form in campaign 1, but the party cohesion that happened in campaign 2. If we remember, they met at the inn. I wish I could remember the nestled. Nope, not the nestled nook. Maybe it was the nestled nook. I think it was the nestled nook that they met in.
It's in Felderman, right?
Yes. No. It was Trostenwald.
Yep.
They meet there. Not and Caleb are together at one table, and Bo, Ford, and Jester are at another table, the table right beside them. And then Molly and Yasha make the entrance as members of the circus. In those first maybe half dozen episodes, they didn't get along really well. There was a lot of mistrust. The characters were a little bit more brooding, a little bit more like as we know, the backstories for some of them were very tragic. And it took a little while for them to get together and to form sort of bonds. And the players, I believe, did that very intentionally. They wanted them to be a slow burn, to build bonds and to build those things that a good party develops over time. And that was wonderful. I think my take is that now that we have 8 years, 9 years, 10 years of them playing together, they're just settling into this table as like a warm bath. Because what I was realizing is that right away, if we look at like the first 2 combats, for example, they can't help but just slip into very familiar roles with each other and how they move around, bouncing around those little miniatures in combat. And even in the RP stuff, they're bonding very, very quickly. 2 episodes in, they're already friends, sort of.
Yeah,
more. I think more friends than they were at this point in campaign 2.
Yeah, and I think I get the impression that it was fairly orchestrated that way. Very well done. You know, because Ladna and Imogen, they're there for I'm not gonna remember the name of that fucking school for the rest of my life.
Starpoint Conservatory.
Thank you very much. You got the notes. That's why this works.
Yes.
And then just fucking Ashton just wants gold. I'll fight for gold, whatever, all right, he's in. Easy, right? There's a fight right there. And then as soon as Bertrand was like, oh yes, I can bring us, and I know somebody, and we can do this, and they're all just like, dude, do I get clout? Do I get gold? And then the other ones are like, can I get more information about the person we're trying to find?
Immediately, those 3 are trying to find
immediately gelled up.
Yeah, and it happened very quickly. And you're right; it probably was orchestrated. It probably was that way to make it much easier.
Yeah, without railroading, it felt
railroading,
fairly natural. I mean, it clearly was written in there to go this way, but
yeah. Matt's got a plan, and he knows what he wants to do, and absolutely, yeah. Great.
If one of the characters was like, "Oh no, I want to see all 5 of the spires," be like, "No, okay," and then let's railroad. Right. That would be railroading if he said no to that. Yeah, but it was good, natural.
I think so too. I think it was very natural. It was very good. It felt clean. It felt very good, and it felt like I said, them slipping into a warm bath. They already know what they're getting themselves into with each other. They're comfortable with each other, and it just feels natural. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's already. I'm just so excited every week. It's like, oh, new content, man. Like the 2 things I watch and listen to are Critical Role and 2 Bears, 1 Cave. It's just like every Tuesday. Well, Tuesday for 2 Bears now because I can't. They don't do Twitch, so I can't.
Okay.
What's the word? Subscribe.
Okay.
But yeah, so like Friday, I get to watch my Critical Role, and then when Tuesday comes around, I get to walk to work with these fucking fat comedians talking about shit.
Yeah,
I love it.
2 Bears, 1 Cave is great, man. I love it. I'm a little behind. I haven't watched it for a couple of weeks or months, maybe now. I got to catch.
This new one is pretty good. This new one is quite good. Yeah, they're up and down. The last couple have been pretty low, but that's not this podcast.
I want to roll a dice.
Okay, we're gonna roll. Okay,
let's roll for the next one.
Okay, let's do it.
Keep this party going.
Ooh, 14.
Yeah, 11 for me. Middle.
All right. I had an idea. Woo. I'll bring up this one.
I'm sure we have many of the same ones, but yeah, go ahead.
Probably, yeah. I'm still going before break.
Okay.
With this one, I suppose.
Hey, quick point on that one. Can I just inject one little thing? Really quick point. Talking about the break. This episode was two very different parts. The first part being, I thought much better. The second part seemed to tail off into some. I think they were getting a little tired. It felt like they
loopy
got
at least.
So loopy and so giddy in the beginning, and just loving each other's combat. Liam must have said. Their costumes. Liam must have said, I can't talk to you. I can't look at you without laughing. I can't do that. And they were so giddy over each other's costumes in the beginning that the second half, I think they were getting a little drained. And it really did feel like two very different parts to it.
It did.
So I was, yeah.
Anyway, now that you mention it, yeah.
Didn't mean to derail, but yeah, go ahead. What's your...
Fuck, I forgot already too. At the end of that fight, I saw two parallel universes. Where at the end of the fight, I saw the orc. I forgot the name of the orc. I don't know.
Lord Lord.
See, in a year, I'll know it better than you. But right now, you've got the notes, right?
I wrote it down. I wrote down LE several times. It's Lord. Oh man. Somebody's yelling at us online right now.
Yeah, it'll
Lord,
get there.
Lord Escherton.
I'm not sure what it is. Nobody's yelling at us in chat yet, but get it, fucking yell at us in email. Mm-hmm. He did, and I saw two ways that he could have done it, and I'm wondering if maybe it was a choice the way that he did it, or if it was like maybe an intentional kind of I'm the DM and this is what's going to happen, which is usually something he doesn't do. But at the end of that fight, he was like, the orc says like, enough, right? Yep. And then he just gets out of initiative roll. At that point, he just says enough, and then he just stops it as the god that he is as a DM. Mm-hmm. I was waiting for him. I was like going to say, or I was waiting for him to put forth that he says enough. Okay, and Beauregard, no, what's her name? Laudna, it's your go. She's like, so I just heard him say enough, right? Mm-hmm. Like I was expecting that. I was expecting him to keep it in initiative because they could have kept fighting him, perhaps. Yeah, but I know that they were kind of losing a little bit. But he just stopped it. He just put his foot down as the the god of the room. Like, nope, we're done, and now we're gonna talk.
Yeah, a very rare narrative mistake by Matthew Mercer.
Mistake, you think?
I think so. I think it was a mistake. I think it was a very rare mistake. I think he got caught up in his own narrative. Mm-hmm. And like you said, I think he made a mistake by having the narrative already going in his head.
Right. I kind of felt that way too.
We never see this. He never does this. So I think it was just a getting caught up in the moment of, well, I need this to end now. I'm wondering if there was a little bit of, this orc might die. There's the hit points are coming down, and they may end up killing him if I'm not careful here. And I think there was I don't know. I mean, you can't get into somebody's head, but I think it was a mistake. I think it was a very rare mistake, but I've never seen it. Not never seen it, but I've very rarely seen it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he was really low, and that's why he made the executive decision.
Well, there's a moment when Laudna says, or Marisha says, as Laudna, that is he still frightened of me?
Right.
And I think Matt was like, "Oh crap!"
He had to make a save.
Yeah, so he did. Well, he failed the save.
Yeah, he failed the save.
And so he walks away, and if Laudna had come closer, he would have had to get out of his chair and walk away because he was frightened of that character. So there's a strange, and Marisha recognized that and said, okay, well, as Laudna, I'm just going to hang back here at the back of the room.
The way she said it in character was great. It's like, exactly. Pretty sure if I can't do it. I can't do Beatrix Lestrange. Mm-hmm. What's her name?
Beatrix Lestrange. Yeah. Beatrix. Or it's Helen Bonham Carter is the actor. For the
she's fucking nailing it. But yeah, she's back there. She's like, I think if I get closer, he's gonna have to back away, and that would just be awkward. Yep. Yes. She's always got her fingers out.
Oh, so good.
Her fingers and
you're right.
What is it? Her fingers and eyes and hands stay in character the whole time, even when she's talking with other people. Yeah. Her eyes are just like. and her fingers are just they have nails and they're dripping off.
It's all gross. It's all creepy,
It's
and
so
it's all
good.
it's so
Such good
good.
character. Such good
She's
RP.
killing it right now. I think as the most in character player at that table.
Yeah.
I think she's leading the charge.
Yeah.
The rest of them are good. Everybody's doing a great job.
Yeah.
But she is vamping it up, like really, really vamping.
No pun
it up.
intended.
It's I don't think so.
Maybe.
I don't think so.
No.
Get into that a little bit later because I have some theories on that one.
Okay.
But yeah, okay, we'll go back to this thing about with Matt. He recovered very well. He brought it back, and he realized, I think he kind of realized what he had done. But it was too late at that point, and all the other players at the table were all just like, okay, it's done. But it was one of those things where, anyway, I think I've said what I feel about it.
Yeah. So, I didn't dislike the choice or mistake or whatever the fuck it was. No. Because it's like, all right, we got to stop, and I'm going to give you this. Because now they still have this cohesiveness. If they did end up killing the guy, I don't think they wanted to. They were also hurting.
I think at that point, absolutely. I think at that point, Fresh Cut Grass would have jumped in with what's that? What's the not Revivify? It's Revivify. We don't know if he actually has that or not.
You get that level 5, don't you?
I forget.
It's not level 3, I don't think. No, that's too low.
I think it's a 3rd level spell, so it's probably level 5. I forget at the top of my head. I have to look that up.
Like when Molly dies, they didn't have
at that point. But at that point, I mean, it would just be a cure wounds or a healing word would pop them right back up, right? Because 3 death saves and then 3 failed death saves, which is 18 seconds minimum.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then it's on from there.
Also, something that I'm not super clear on, and real quick, with the sympathetic something or other that he's doing, that's completely homebrew, right?
Yep, it has to be.
And then
there is. I've looked and looked and looked. I've read on Reddit and looked at the socials and checked it out.
It'll be coming out at some point. It's very strange.
There's an equivalent, but it's not called that. But it's like a there's something that's similar where you can in Pathfinder there was a thing that they did where you could bind with somebody, and then you would wear rings, and you would and then half the damage, like say if somebody did 100 points of damage on you, you would take 50, and the person you were bound with would take the other 50. Okay. It's sort of it's a similar thing, and there's something like it in 5th edition that I found too, but I'm not. This is homebrew. That sympathetic binding thing is complete homebrew.
Sympathetic binding, yeah, that's what it's called. I remember I'm pretty sure it was the first episode where he did it with, I think he did it with Ashton, right? Yes. But then he did it with somebody else, but then Ashton got 9 temporary hit points because that was half the damage or something. It was like he took half of the damage, like Fresh Cut Grass took half the damage as far as I remember it. And then it was like, it was a passing comment, like, and you get those 9 additional temporary hit points. And nobody said anything about it.
I think he was talking to Sam. I think Matt was talking to Sam about that. I think the way it works, my take on it, again, this is homebrew, so it's speculation. I don't really know.
But then the last thing was at the end of the battle, he was like, and there's that 9 damage or something like that. So it's like, or something similar to that is what I caught. I think the second time I watched it.
My take on it was it's a balance issue. If you do this sympathetic binding thing, you could theoretically, you're having damage. It's basically the same as a rage. You're having the damage, and that throws things a little bit out of balance because they're not raging. Because the rage has its own penalties as well. It's got its own balance part of it. I think what they've done is they've balanced it by giving Fresh Cut Grass, the automaton, the temporary hit points, and then as soon as the combat is over, those temporary hit points disappear, and the regular hit points. So it's a double wham. And where I think that balances is towards it could potentially at the end of a combat kill your character.
Right. That's what I was getting at. Yeah. It's like, dude, that's a whole new thing that could be potentially very dangerous.
Very dangerous. Very dangerous.
Like in large battles, I played certainly going to have in the future.
Going back to Pathfinder, I played a paladin who had this defensive stance capability, and it buffed me with extra hit points. And so basically, you just go
Your
into this
character had it?
defensive stance. My character had
Right.
this, and it was a similar thing. It buffed them with temporary hit points. And I got into, I remember one combat, I got into a really bad place, and I wiped out, my DM wiped out all those temporary hit points and my regular hit points. I went so deep into the negative, I died. Dead.
Oof.
Done.
You were just dead?
Dead.
Damn.
Yeah. It was awful. And it was a lesson learned that if you blow through everything, you die. It's gone.
Fuck, man.
So yeah, it was a bad one. It was really bad. And I'm wondering if they balanced this a similar way. I don't know that. This is all just speculation, but
it's kind of my D&D bucket list. Again, I've never played D&D, but one of the things on that list is die.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. I mean, there's many
but not
ways
stupidly,
yeah.
I'm gonna jump off a cliff
happened to
and
me.
turn into a goldfish.
Yeah, it's happened to me a couple of times. It's a thing. It's a process. 5th edition deals with it a lot better. It's in D&D, it's fantasy world. You don't really want to kill the players I think as a DM. I don't think any DM really
game.
does.
You want to keep playing the game. Yeah.
There are ways around it. There's resurrections. There's I mean, look what happened with Molly in campaign 2 and rewriting the whole character. Just throwing, like, the character's gone and re-rolling. It's a fun way to do it. Look at with Vax in campaign 1. I mean, he died.
I had my issues with that one.
Yeah, Liam was in love with that character. He never wanted to get rid of that.
Everybody was really. I had my issues with that. Like the first time I went through it, I didn't realize the terminology that was dropped every now and then, and I don't want to spoil it unnecessarily right here, right now. But be prepared for it if you're watching and you don't know. But I didn't really feel comfortable with the fact that you could just decide to get killed and then just come back the next morning, and then it wasn't picking up on detect dead, or detect undead or whatever.
I'm really happy that they didn't do a lot of those resurrection rolls that they did in campaign 1 in campaign 2. I found that they did it a few times, right?
They didn't
Remember,
have
they were
the opportunity, did they?
Not so much. And I think that was a conscious choice. I hope they've gotten sort of rid of those skill challenges. Those sorts of skill challenges are a 4th edition thing. I've learned that recently.
And that's the one we don't talk about.
That's one we don't talk about, but they're a carryover. They don't exist in 5th edition. They don't exist in Pathfinder. It's a strict 4th edition thing. I think it's a fun way of doing things. It really can be a really fun way that have a skill challenge. If you're escaping, they do it. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think they did do some similar in campaign 2.
Was such a Taiwanese. You're taking after your kids, dude.
When they're building Villy, the stone golem, in the Happy Fun Ball, they do a skill challenge, and that's a similar sort of a thing. Like, they do that occasionally, but the resurrection skill challenges, they didn't do that in campaign 2 at all.
Yeah, not once, right?
But they did it several times. Pike dies pre-stream. Grog, I think they all eventually.
Grog, Scanlan, Pike.
They all
fucking spoilers everywhere. If you're not caught up.
I think every single one of them died, and they go through the resurrection rolls, and then the DC becomes. Matt wrote them all out online, and the
Keyleth did not have to go through a ritual. She was the last one to die, but it was just that coin that Tarion gave him.
Right. Yeah, great memory. Wow. So yeah, I'm part of me is like, I'm happy that that's gone, because I don't think that's a particularly.
Is it gone, or they just didn't use it? They didn't have the avenue, right?
Again, it's homebrew, so it's
okay. Yeah.
It's that's something that doesn't exist in 5th edition.
Right.
It's a carryover. So who knows? Maybe they got rid of it. Maybe they didn't.
It was kind of
I'd be kind of happy if they did. It's a fun way to go through things, but I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, death should be a part of it. I mean, that's something that we learned when we all started watching or reading fucking Game of Thrones or Song of Ice and Fire. It's like, anybody can die, dude.
Yes.
Like, stop thinking that someone's not going to die. It could happen.
Poor Sean.
That's one thing. That's the takeaway that I get from that series, even though the fucking series ended so piss poor, was anybody can die. I'm convinced, and
George R. R. Martin doesn't give a fuck what you think. He'll
right.
murder everybody you love.
I don't like putting this out on the internet because I think it's a brilliant idea and I think it's actually a secret in the industry. I'm pretty sure that motherfucker's sitting there with dice and rolling out the scenarios and then writing them. I'm pretty sure that that's what he's doing. Anybody can roll a 1. That's what happens. You know,
Right.
The dice are telling the story, not George.
You hope so. That'd be a fun way of doing things. I mean, if
Dude, I could write a book like that. If I don't know how it's going to work out, fucking play it out on dice and write about it. You know, like I'm watching it. Just describe what you're rolling. I think it's a fucking cheat code, man.
Maybe.
I think
I'm not going to disagree. It'd be fun
I think
if it was true.
That's the fucking wave of the future, rather, frankly. So this is being recorded and streamed right now. So, you know, if anybody tries to do this shit on intellectual property right here. All right. So fuck off.
All right.
I mean, go ahead and try it, but I'm going to sue you later. I'm not talking to you, Ben. I'm talking to the fucking viewers that, you know.
Yeah, I know. All right. So that was yours. I'm going to throw one of mine out there.
Okay.
Let's. So we're talking about that. That was.
I was saying Matthew stopped the fight and left initiative order.
Right. I'm gonna go to a little bit of a complete 180 on this, like another tangent. I thought it was really fun how Bertrand Bell, Orem, and Laudna, all 3 of them know about Vox Machina.
Oh yeah, that was fun to hear them talk about it.
It was so fun, and I think it's a running gag. It was a running gag all through campaign 2 about who's on the Tal'Dorei Council.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful thing, but it was really, really fun listening to 3 different perspectives. And Bertrand Bell having that little Vox Machina pin on his
I think he made that
lapel. Probably.
But it works. It's fine.
But it was great.
And why wouldn't he have it, you know?
I think it was tons of fun how he talked about his experiences in the hunt for Grog and the search for Bob. I think it was really fun. The counterpoint to that of Orem going, okay, some of that tracks. Like he knows Keyleth. He's been sent to Marquette by Keyleth, so he knows a lot about Vox Machina. Clearly, he's lived with the Arashari for a while, so he would probably know.
He's of the Arashari. He's just not a druid. Right?
He's just not a druid. That's right. Well, there's plenty of druids that are not, or plenty of the Arashari or the Ashari that are not druids. Like he sort of said he's got that. He proved it with that gust of wind cantrip.
Right. Yeah. He is one of them. Yeah. So that he definitely knows the fucking voice of the Tempest.
So and he probably knows Percy or Vex or any
at
of them.
Least heard of them.
If they've probably come to visit. Why wouldn't they come to visit him? Or the rest of the Ashari, if they've come for a visit and they've shown up on that mountain, like
he probably knows about the Mighty Nine because Vilya
went
back, and this is after this.
Yep,
he knows about both of those falconers.
Highly plausible. It's highly plausible that Liam has really thought about this stuff, about what Orem may or may not know.
Yeah, I hope he rolls for it. You know, it's like, have I heard of Jester? And be like. You might make a roll, you know, and like let the dice tell that part of the story. Fuck, that's interesting. I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, and then the other counterpoint to that, or not the counterpoint, but the other interesting side to that is Laudna's take on Vox Machina. How she knew that there was a hunt for them.
Right. Yeah. The whole place got overturned.
Yes.
Fucking looking for him. Yeah.
This is not my theory. This is a fun little theory that I read on Reddit. Was that somebody suggested that all of Whitestone gets overturned, and what is the first thing that Vox Machina sees when they arrive in Whitestone? The corpses hanging from the sun tree.
That was one of my favorite moments in that fucking campaign, dude. It was creepy as F.
So fucking creepy. So
good.
One of the fun little
there, man.
Yeah, one of the fun little Reddit theories was that she was one of the corpses. Laudna is one of the corpses.
That was
hanging from the sun tree.
Which one would she be? Vex?
I don't know. Maybe Vex. Maybe, who knows? Could be.
I'm originally from Vex. Whitestone.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
And then she's got that. She says several times. She's like, "No, I was just in. I was in hiding. I was unavailable for a while."
Right.
Clearly, she's dead at some point. Although I do have.
I get that.
If I can, One of the things that came out, let me look at my notes here. One of the things that came out of this episode was that she has the spell sniper feat, which means that she has to be a variant human. Don't ask me why. I don't really understand this. It's something that was brought up on the internets, and it was brought to my attention. Variant human with a spell sniper feat, and to add to that, this is Matthew Mercer homebrew from Taldore, Hollow one. Do you remember Jumanji Costco? Jumetti. Thank you. Jumanji Costco. Well, forever will be known as Jumanji
Wholesale,
Costco.
yep.
Right, wholesale. So he was a hollow one. It's not a race. It's a whatever it is, just a sort of a variant, sort of a trait thing that some people in Taldore get because of reasons. There's a reason for it. I don't remember it. It's in the Taldore's guide, Explorer's Guide. But Laudna used that unsettling presence, that action, take as an action. She used that, and only hollow ones have that in Exandria. So those are the following the dot, connecting the dots together. Laudna has to be a variant human and has to be a hollow one because of these things that she used. Just a quick little thing about the unsettling presence, because we're looking this up. There is no saving throw for that. It's just you are unsettled. It's your action, but it means that you have disadvantage on your next saving throw. So as an action, this is a D&D thing, like it's a very much a action economy sort of a thing. Laudna uses unsettling presence. It automatically works. There's no saving throw, which means the very next the very next saving throw that player has to make is at disadvantage. This is sort of one of those Jester in the hut, the hag's hut with the dust of deliciousness, where this has the potential to be very overpowered, very OP. Because as an action, Laudna uses unsettling presence, then a bonus action casts some really debilitating spell of some kind, or
as
sets
a bonus action,
or doesn't do a bonus action, then Imogen is next as a sorcerer, a Aberrant Mind sorcerer. She casts a mad crazy spell on an enemy, and they have disadvantage on that saving throw.
They're gonna put some beholders in this thing, man. There's gonna be some homebrew beholder of this, you know, because like there's so much magic going on in this.
My brain was clicking when that was happening. I'm like, oh, this and then that. And I'm like looking at the action economy in combat, or even in an RP session where it could just be, it has the potential again for the players through their characters to really fuck the DM.
The combos, dude. Like you got that bard that can give the inspiration. That's a little bonus. They're already guidance, you know. They have the guidance and inspiration, and nobody's got Bane right now, right?
Yeah.
Was there a Bane? Yeah, there was. There was a Bane.
Laudna cast Bane. Laudna talked about casting Bane. She didn't.
I'm mixing up my campaign 2 and campaign 3, but I know that Ashley spoke into her mug. That was campaign 2. That was campaign 2. She was doing a Bane impression.
You might be right. Fern might have wanted to cast Bane and then didn't. Fern might have wanted to. She's like, I'm going to cast Bane, and then she walked it back and did something different. Could be.
Yeah, I might be mixing it up.
Her
if
wild
we're fucking
magic
this up,
is very strange.
Write an email.
We don't get everything right. We're not Danny Carr here. We're not we're not lore masters for this.
We remember what we remember. Oh, also, I'm gonna add. I might as well say it here right now. I'm gonna put the Discord link in this ad.
Hey, we have Discord. We probably should have said that at the beginning. We have Discord now.
Who the fuck does email? I mean, if you want to use email, use email. But if we're gonna have a Discord thing, it's just the two of us in there right now, so we can share ideas. As long as we're
Critters in Taiwan at gmail.com. We're also Critters in Taiwan on Discord. So we're trying to figure everything out. We might even get Instagram up at some point.
Yeah, sure. Instagram.
Why the hell not?
Two private people in 2 different cities in the same country.
A little weird.
Yeah, but I'll put it in the description, the Discord link, if you want to get involved, become a part of the conversation, man.
Please. Even if it's just random stuff and you're curious about what's going on and you're not even a critter, just throw us a message. Say hi. Say, hey, I'm here and I caught your thing. Yeah. Okay, that was you. That was me.
Yeah.
Roll again. I
Yeah.
love roll. Oh, bye bye.
It's so
I
dark
love
under
rolling
there.
dice. I just love rolling dice, so I just always want to roll. Did you find it? Is it
Can't
gone?
even see it.
If it's gone, it's gone.
But it's
This
the
is the
only 20
problem.
I have.
You only have one set of dice, man. We got to
This is the
change
one
that.
set.
Oh no, it's gone forever. All right. Well, then we don't. I guess that was the dice talking. The dice letting us know.
I'm getting it.
We don't. You gonna get it?
I'm
All right.
getting it. It's got to be here somewhere.
All right. Well, while Tim is gone, we can
talk amongst yourselves.
we can look at his nice leather chair. Is that Italian leather? It's sexy. Hey.
Nah. Even my boxers are blue today. God damn, I'm fucking color coded. Yeah, by the way, I'm not wearing pants when I sit here.
I am. I came straight from work, so I changed my shirt. That was the only thing I did.
Yeah, my shorts they don't cross this threshold. But they happen to
It's
be
all
blue.
good.
Okay, I got mine.
I got mine.
Yeah, let's just roll it up.
Okay.
Here we
Ready?
go.
And go.
Ooh, is that an 18? That is an 18. What you got?
Oh man, I rolled a 17.
Fucking
Come
hell.
on. I was excited. Hey, all good.
Okay.
You're up.
I got this one. I got to choose now. I don't have one ready. I already said that. That's minor.
Oh, by the way, if you're looking to know if you want to know what we're doing with these dice, it's called rollies.
Basically, yeah. Heart takes a moment to learn, a lifetime to master, right?
Lifetime, yeah, that's right.
This one's kind of a complaint. All right, this one's more of a opinion type of thing.
Okay.
I did notice that at the end of the battle, we haven't even gotten into the second half of this fucking episode yet, which was hilarious. At the end of the battle, Ashton threw a knife at Bert.
Yes.
And I noticed, and these little things bothered me a little bit. He rolled, and then he said reckless. Not that it would really matter. He said reckless after his first roll, and I'm sitting there. I'm someone who's never played this game before. And I know that rule. You have to say it before. I even looked it up too. I was like, no, you have to say it before you do any fucking roll. You have to. So he sit there, he rolled it once, and he's like, reckless. Not that it was going to help. Or any, he probably already rolled high anyway. And he was probably thinking that he was going to do it recklessly anyway. Yeah. But you have to fucking say it, man. Yeah. It kind of got to me a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
And Matt let it slide. He didn't say anything, which is fine.
Taliesin's known for this. We know Taliesin does this all the time. Taliesin is he's the next to Matt. And I think Matt has actually said that Taliesin's played more D&D than he has. That
he's
that
been alive for thousands of years. So
yeah, right. Just thousands of years of experience. I think Matt has said though that he's like you're because Taliesin often gets editions confused. I do too. I mean, I've played so many fucking different.
That
editions.
makes sense. Yeah,
and he gets the rules mixed up a little bit, and then sometimes, and I feel like it's a bit of a standing rule with Matt that he just sort of he's like, okay, that's Taliesin being Taliesin, and we'll just let it go, and then checks him on some things. I think it's a pick and choose the moment of the battle.
It wasn't a big deal. It was just something I noticed,
Yep. And I think if it had been a big deal, like if it had been in combat, an important part of combat, that he wouldn't have let it slide. He'd be like,
it was just a thing, and again, he didn't really need it. Just a call, but I'm like, I wish I was there to be like Taliesin. I wish I was in his corner, like like when he's playing, it was like Taliesin.
Little voice in the ear saying, "Hey, buddy, you gotta call it before." I know. I caught the same thing. I'm like, yeah, please don't let that become a regular thing. I agree. Okay,
all the P's got out.
I think you did one, and that you won the roll, so it's my turn now.
I think it's roll time.
Okay, sure.
I'm pretty sure it's roll time. Yeah, I think I had one, and then you went, and then I think it's roll time now.
Okay, let's roll again.
Yeah, because I've got one more that I could talk about.
I'm not going to object to rolling more dice. I love rolling 20s.
This is my only opportunity. I'm in.
Let's roll again.
Here we go.
Waiting for the. Oh no.
Ooh, right down the middle.
20. Yeah, I got a 6.
I got a 10. All right.
You're up again.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna bring up this little point here on the bottom. It's not a huge thing. None of these things are huge things, but I wish I remember the exact example that came from episode 2. I believe Fern, she just, she's got a bit of a sticky finger syndrome, and she was
Ah,
walking, and it must have been a shoe because I think they mentioned stiletto, and she didn't roll a
no,
1, she rolled a
the
4.
stiletto is the
Is it a
the sword.
knife?
That's the little. It's like a rapier. A stiletto is a really really thin pointed dagger.
Oh, okay. I just thought of the
That's why they're called
heels.
stiletto. That's why they're called stiletto heels because they have such a
I get that.
thin heel. It's the stiletto is actually a tiny little pointy knife that
Hmm.
is it's like a pencil. Like it's like this big. It's a tiny little super sharp. It's not for slashing. It's for stabbing.
Right.
And it's a yeah. They're deadly.
Okay. So yeah,
Yes.
she went in there. She didn't roll a 1. She rolled a 4.
Hmm. Hmm.
And but Matthew still kind of treated it as a 1.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It was a fail.
yeah, it was a fail for sure because
Yep.
like it was
Yep.
below the DC. That's who knows if he actually has a number in his head for
Well,
something like
it'd be
that.
a passive. It'd be the orcs. It would be the Lord. I wish I could remember his name. It would be his passive perception. And if his passive perception is say like he's
Good point.
older,
Good
it's
point.
like 15. It's like 16. His passive perception could be 16, 17, maybe even a little higher, maybe 18. And because it was so low, it was a 4. It's so many degrees of magnitude below
Yeah.
his passive perception that then that's why I think Matt treats it as a fail
Yeah,
because
I like that
it's such a bad rule.
because
Like
like I
so it's
like
such
it.
a
It's
big difference.
I think it's a fun reminder. And I'm a
Mm.
strong backer of the whole idea of like, let's remember it's a game,
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
like he doesn't have like a solid 18 DC set for these things. Sometimes he
Mhm.
does, but not all the time. No, they're
Well,
doing shit on the fly. So it's like
absolutely.
they're playing a game, and if Matthew wants them to like ping, pang, pang, one of Matthew's favorite things to do with that sound effect is like, oh yeah, they're in
Uses
the back, and they
amazing
go, bang,
sound
bang, bang,
effects. Yeah.
son of a.
Yep. Mhm,
It's his
mhm.
favorite thing to do. Then do it if that's what you want to do. It's your game,
There-
and I'm happy to
At that
watch.
Absolutely. At that moment, just on that same thing, at that moment, Travis elbowed Robbie and was like, see, look at that. Like they had a little conversation about, see, look at that. Look, see, that's on him. And Robbie was like, yeah, I know, man. I know. It's amazing. They were commenting about Matt's rolling bowl. I can't do it. The sound of the bowl.
Oh yeah, he did it
That
like a
whole fucking thing.
yeah.
So good, man. I don't know how he does that, but that was the moment Travis elbows him and says, "See, look what he's doing. Look what he's doing." And Robbie's like, "Yeah, I know, man. I don't know how he does that. It's amazing." So I'm sure they've had a little backstage conversation with Robbie about you're going to get to see the full Matt Mercer with these amazing sound effects that he can do that are just in my opinion, otherworldly. I don't know anybody that can do things like that. All of them. The sound that he does for an arrow hitting a piece of wood, that ruler sound.
I can't do
Yeah,
the.
it's
And oh
crazy.
man, that
But
one time in campaign 1, I think, where the arrow, I think they were shooting chickens. I don't remember. One of them got Scanlan in the throat or something. I don't think that was the same one, but like it hit something and it went like, I can't do the thing, but it's like, and then they're like, oh no, no, sorry, it was a 16 or something like that, which is like too lower. And he's like, oh, okay. And he just lowered the frequency of the just a little bit. And everyone's like, holy
Yeah.
fuck, man, what
Yeah.
can't you do?
I remember that. I don't remember where it was, but I do
And then,
remember
oh,
that.
sorry. So more like, and I
Yeah.
can't do it because my stupid, that's as long
It's
as my
so
tongue
good,
gets.
man.
So good. It's got to be
Yeah.
so fun living with the guy. He's
Ah,
probably walking around the apartment just like making sounds for shit all the time,
Well,
just for
look at it,
practice,
look-
for his career.
I wonder if he practices with Omar, their corgi. I wonder if he like walks around with, and I wonder what Omar gets. Like, there might be stuff that he's embarrassed to do in front of Marisha, and then Omar gets those ones, and they're
Or
just
Dagon.
weird. or Dagon, yeah.
Yeah, because
Man.
like Dagon, right?
Uh,
That like it's a
Dagon,
parrot that
Dagon.
it could mimic. I think
Dagon?
it does mimic a few things, doesn't it?
It's a little.
Doesn't
I don't
she?
think it's a parrot. I think it's. Is it a boy? I don't even know. If it's a boy or a girl.
I think it's a
Um,
she.
Maybe
She's a celebrity.
Cockatiel. I think it's a
I
cockatiel.
think it's a strain of parrot of some sort.
Oh, really?
I was watching on episode
I'm not a bird guy.
99.
I don't like having dinosaurs in my house.
I don't mind having dinosaurs in my house. If not, I'm thinking about getting a tattoo of one, so they're always around.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Hey,
Anyway, that was off the rails. All I was saying was like, I like it when he treats like 4s and 7s at his leisure. Just treat it as like a fucking critical fail. Just have fun with it.
I agree. I love it
like
too.
it.
I'm gonna throw one right back at you for that.
Let's do it.
About Fern. I've had this on my list for 2 weeks now, and I haven't had a chance. And I'm glad that I finally do, because it would have been really dumb if I had brought it up. But it's been 2 weeks now. Where the fuck is Mister?
Yeah, we brought that up in our last episode.
Where the fuck is Mister? No, we talked about
3.
We didn't talk. Yeah,
it gets so confused. They've had 2 episodes. We've had 3. I get all confused.
But I don't think we talked about this on the recording. I think we just talked about this personally.
Oh, it wasn't recorded.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think you're right.
What has happened? What has happened to that fucking monkey?
Still hasn't shown up. What the fuck?
Nope. Like where is it? Is it?
She definitely talks about him in the intro. Be like, and I've got this monkey named Mister.
Yep.
And then nobody said anything about it.
Never said anything again about it.
They didn't say he wasn't there.
Nope.
Unless we're missing something. Remember the first time, or
no.
the first and second time, I think, that we watched, we did not pick up on Whitestone.
Mm-mm.
Remember that? I think we watched it once at that point, or twice at that point. We did not pick up on that. Maybe something was...
No, it hasn't been said. I've gone back and looked.
I'm pretty sure that's been said.
And I'm not alone on this. It's also been talked about in socials.
Is it up on the socials? Yeah.
Yeah. Where is Mister? It's just, and some people are saying that it's too much for this character to have a familiar like that. It's something that is too much. Other people are saying that they've forgotten, as they do, as we know that Vex forgot about Trinket on multiple occasions. And that was her animal companion as a ranger. So I don't know. I think maybe we'll find out. Maybe we won't. Who knows?
Well, I would like to think that, especially with Orin, I just keep saying Orin until I see that name again. Orin.
No, it's M. It's
an M. Okay, I keep saying it wrong then. I'm waiting I'm waiting to see if Orim or Air Genasi.
Robbie Dorian.
Yeah. They haven't said anything, so I'm guessing that they all understand that he's just not there. Forgot. Like Mister's just not there. Like Mister was left home, and then they went over here without Mister. Because
I would be okay with that. I would be totally fine with that.
I would be fine with that too. And there's a reason that they haven't said anything, because they already know, and nobody else knows about Mister. Only except for when she said like, "Oh yeah, and I've got this monkey called Mister," but she was telling us that, not the people at the table. She was explaining her character, but she might have said that she also has a monkey here.
Are we?
But I don't remember that.
Yeah, are we forgetting something from EXU? I mean, I only watched it once. We've talked about this. It was tough to watch.
It's hard to watch.
It was hard to watch. Did something happen in the very last episode with Mister where he went back to his elemental plane, and that's why she doesn't have it? No, I don't think so.
No, she starts She starts campaign 3 saying like, "Oh, and there's this monkey named Mister." I'm pretty sure. I don't think I'm crazy on this.
Too. No, I think so too. So I'm trying to think in my mind if there was something that she said that we've forgotten about, but no.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a fun little thing to think about. Like, where is this monkey, and what have they done with it, and have they just forgotten, and they don't really care about it, and they just
because he was in the fights, he was involved.
Yeah, he was and he had that moment where they actually fought him because he stepped on the ash hole and became a giant, not giant, he became a medium-sized elemental that they fought. If I remember correctly, it was weird.
Yeah, I don't know. If he never comes up, then I'm assuming that he's just like back somewhere, and she's doing this without him right now because he's out of it right now. And I'm assuming that they probably either know exactly what they're doing, or there are people being like, "Hey, where the fuck is Mister?" Like fan art without Mister or with Mister. How do we do this?
Fan art. What I'm wondering if they're looking at the fan art, going, "Oh yeah, Fern has a monkey."
Yeah, it's either that or it's like no, there's no monkey right now. There's a reason for that. I don't know. So it's either completely planned or completely fucked. Those are the things. Yeah.
All right. Well, those are our 2 points about that. Shall we roll again?
Sure. Yeah, sure. I've got a couple of tiny little things over here.
I got like 2 or 3 more that I'd like to do. So let's just roll again one more time.
Yeah, we're at about the hour mark at this point. And oh no, what'd you get?
You'll find out.
You got a 1.
Critical
A
fail.
5 beating a 1. Look at that. First critical
Nice.
1 on Critters in Taiwan. Hey,
There we go.
you were
That's
here
right there.
first. Where were you when the first one was rolled? We're still
I can
waiting
take
for
a
the first
picture of it
20
if you
too.
want. I know. No.
Okay, all right. I didn't cross that one out yet. Okay, that one's crossed out. I'm gonna save this one. I still want to do this one, but not today. Not today. Not
Okay.
today. Today's not the day. I sent you a message last night. I was like, "Ooh, I got one, bud." I'll bring it up though. I'm gonna save it. There's a little cliffhanger for all you viewers out there. I did mention that. Here's a small one. Talking about Matthew's poker face. If I was maybe a coach of his or something, or if I would drop him a line, and if he actually ever paid any attention to what people send him, I would recommend that he takes a sip every time he requests some kind of a roll. You know, like if somebody says like, "Do I see anything like silver or blue or anything that might look like this or something like that?" He'd be like, "Make a perception check every time." So that he can solidify one thing that he does every time they do it. So that, you know, because when he takes a sip, at this point, I'm pretty sure that he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's coming up with something on the spot. He's buying a second to think.
This is something that's famous across the critterdom. Everybody talks about it all the time that everybody wants to play poker with Matthew Mercer because he's got so many tells.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
pretty easy to read.
It's unfair because we've watched so much of what he's doing, but 100% there's so many tells. There's so many little things that he does where he cups his chin and he sidelong looks and he shrugs, and we've learned. I mean, guaranteed those players, they all know it. They know what his tells are, and that if he tries to hide it as best he can, but yeah, it's there. I agree. And I think I think as I'm just learning how to become a DM. We've talked about this. I've only just begun we haven't even started our campaign yet. We started in a couple of weeks. I'm just learning how to do it. But again, this is one of those things where I'm learning, like Matt Mercer is the DM that all DMs should emulate in some form or another. I don't mean 100%. I mean, but take the points.
Drop them.
The way he does things, and that's a great way to do that. Just on that same note, you're talking about Ashley's 4 as being a fail. One of the things that I've noticed that Matt does as a DM, and this is one of those tips that I think everybody should do, as all DMs should do, is that the DC is not the same for every character.
For every character.
So if you're trying to climb a wall, the DC for a rogue should be like an 8, but the DC for the paladin should be like an 18, because of the paladin has no business climbing a wall. Where would a paladin ever learn how to climb a wall? It's just something they don't know how to do. Rogues do it for a living, so the DC would be much lower. And I don't know if I'm just learning how to be a DM, but I don't think that's something that that's in the DM's. I have the.
They also have bonuses.
You can always look,
which kind of covers that a little bit. You know, it's like acrobatics bonus. You know,
it does, and I mean, rogues get that reliable talent at level 10, where everything is automatically a 10. Oh no,
even the ones, right?
Yeah, even the ones. Well, you can't critically fail. You can't in 5th edition. You can't critically fail a skill check. You can't critically succeed a skill check. There are no automatic successes on skill checks. That's a home.
Even ones are bumped up to a 10. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything is.
I don't know how I feel about that. I like the way that Liam played it, because like he just let the ones go. You know, and same with Sam.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that was a little fuck you to the idea of re-rolling a 1.
Yeah, Liam, you know, he likes the ones. That's his favorite thing.
We saw Liam re-roll a 1 this past week.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's doing it all the time.
I'm gonna use my halfling ability to re-roll 1s, and Sam's comment was, "That's a stupid thing. That's
what a stupid rule."
Yeah, what a stupid rule. Beautiful. I loved it.
Yeah, we should talk more about the end of the episode. I don't have a whole lot to say about the end. Like, by the end, I mean the latter half, after the break, the post-break episode. It was just action and it was
It
just
was
people being
great. It
fun,
was,
having fun,
yeah.
being funny
Um,
accidentally.
I think as a giant overview, for me, existentially, that's a silly word to use, but sort of like umbrella sort of idea, it brought back the fact that they're low level characters.
Yes,
And this
and
in
it's
the
so fun.
beginning, yeah, in the beginning of a campaign where they don't really know what they're doing, they don't really know what they're looking for, they don't really understand what's happening. So they were sort of doing random, fun, stupid shit. And it was
Yeah,
I loved that. I thought
they're
it was
not trying to
great.
get some mithril breathed on by a dragon and then
By
just
a
kind
white
of get
dragon,
that,
yeah.
pluck it out, and get the fuck out.
Yep.
No, they're
Yep.
not doing that yet. They're just going
No,
into a
no.
warehouse and seeing if there's some,
Is
some
there some
bullshit going
nonsense
on.
happening in this warehouse? We don't even know. The broomstone thing was a little weird on that note. The
Yeah.
broomstone that they were finding with
Are
Matt
you
was
familiar with
drift.
Brimstone?
Yeah. It's a he described it in the episode. It's an Age of Arcanum thing.
Right.
And
That's when I
Percy
learned about
talked
it. But
Yeah, Percy talked a little bit about it in campaign one. They barely mentioned it in campaign two, and this is probably the most they've talked about. But I've read the Tal'Dorei guide. It's something it's a Matthew Mercer creation.
okay.
It's in the Exandria guide. I've got both of them, the Tal'Dorei and the
Yeah.
Exandria one.
I thought it was
Or the
Brimstone when he
Wild
said
Man.
it.
The
I was
Wild.
like, oh,
Sorry,
that's a grave. Fuck.
my mistake. The Tal'Dorei guide and the Wildmount guide. The Explorer's Guide. I forget the
Explorer's
names.
Guide to Wildmount.
Wildmount and the Tal'Dorei Guide or Guidebook or whatever they're called.
I don't know what the
They're
Tal'Dorei.
in there.
Is it
They're
Explorer's
in
Guide
there.
to Tal'Dorei? Is that what it's called?
Oh, maybe I forget.
Is it
I
just
think it has a
Explorer's
different name.
Guide to Bleh? Is that what it's called?
Maybe.
Like it could be
Anyway, he
Isilra,
talks
could
a
be
little bit
Marquette.
about. They talk a little bit about it there. It's basically a manufactured, a built thing, created. Although Liam did ask if they could, out of like meta, if they knew about brimstone being mined naturally, and Matt was like, "You don't know. You generally don't know." And I think it's in the guidebook that no, it's not. It was a stone that was created. But anyway, like Matt was dropping that as a breadcrumb, sort of like, yeah, here, follow this trail, and maybe you'll learn something about this is why you're actually here. I felt it was a little bit of foreshadowing, maybe.
Yes, this was something I didn't write down. I didn't even say it into my voice memos. When I was walking out on Friday to go see my guitarist play a little solo set. I was giddy on the walk, and on Friday I wasn't alcohol. It was October, so I chose not to drink for October. So I was just walking out there. I had my water, and I'm smoking cigarettes. It felt like I had just put, let's go back to PlayStation 1 days, where I just put a CD in, and you just don't know shit, and here's your character.
Yeah.
Go talk to people and figure it out. Where the fuck are you? What's happening? You don't know anything about the story. I got those same jitters that you don't get these days, like we're old now. Like we don't get we're not 9 years old. Christmas doesn't mean anything, right? Your birthday, who gives a shit, right? When I'm watching this second, I think this happened in the second. No, this is the third one because it was just on Friday. I'm walking out there and I'm just getting excited about this because it's so new, and everything that they're saying, they're just like, oh, find this person, and hey, I need you to do this. It's like, this has nothing to do with the major arc, but these people have to do this because it makes sense right now, and they're such low level that it makes sense for their skill sets. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, Skyrim, Final Fantasy, like all these RPGs that you play, just do these side quests, and then later on you're going to get some hints at some bigger shit. And then when you finally face the big baddie, it's going to be back. Oh, that's why that happened very beginning of the game. Oh, that's making sense. That woo. That's the giddiness I was feeling when I was walking out to go watch my buddy Brown play, man. It was so awesome. Exciting.
Yeah,
so exciting.
that whole, like I said, the whole thing about there was a reminder. The first half of the episode was mostly combat and like a little bit of figuring things out. So it sort of felt like, yeah, it was a exciting and fun little thing. But then the second half was bring it back. You guys don't know shit about shit. Let's figure all of this out now, and pull every thread and see what comes out.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I just on that same thing, like fresh cut grass and Orem were both. Imogen was directing them where to go. Fresh cut grass and Orem were the ones that were looking in the crates, and again, the whole idea of fresh cut grass being an automaton or automaton, however they pronounce it, and the idea of how this character is going to fit into this universe, because when he remember when he talked and he's like, oh, Imogen, I think you need to come over and look, and all the NPCs all turned around abruptly, and we're like,
a talking automaton.
And then Sam did that. Yes, I will follow my orders. That he did that whole like robot voice thing. It fascinates me, which leads into another thing. Sorry, I'm tangenting, but it's relevant.
It's not a tangent. That's relevant.
Bertrand or Travis, Bertrand / Travis, both of them they looked at Sam and was like, so we're out in the field and you get injured. Are you going to be, how can you be repaired? Can you be healed? Yeah. What is that? What is that? Like, have we seen regular healing on
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. Is it just a healing word or cure wounds?
How do hit points work with automatons? How does
I'm guessing if this character is going to be, permanent, like I expect, I bet that they're just going to, Matthew's going to just be like, yeah, so it's cure wounds, but these are the, because he needs parts. And like, what, are they all expected to carry around screws and plate metal and shit like that that he can eat or infuse?
Is that how he, very odd. It's going to be very strange.
Fucking question, man. Jesus, I didn't think about that.
Like, does divine? You remember they asked Sam, like, "Do you have a god?" And it's like, no, I just do magic. So his magic isn't divine. So what happens when divine healing magic is cast on? What happens when he drinks a healing potion?
He has divine intervention, though.
Yeah, well, it is a cleric. They are a cleric.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have a god. So it's a very. I'm gonna keep using he because it's Sam, but they don't have a god. They don't use divine magic, but the class is cleric, which is divine. So I don't know how they're gonna. It's a completely homebrew class, and it's
keeps me tuning in, man.
Whatever. Yeah, I'm curious. I'll be following that thread very closely because I'm always curious about it. I mean, the same with the Earth Genasi with Taliesin, like Ashton. Ashton has Taliesin let slip with Travis. He has 4 rages with 4 different features.
Right.
That red and blue temporal thing that was the temporal morass. Like that what the fuck was that?
He's used 2 of his different kind of rages or something like that. Yeah. And we haven't seen the other 2 yet. It's like, what do you mean different rages?
Yeah. What does that even mean?
I can't wait to find out, It could be 12 episodes. We don't know.
It's so cool. Like, it's such a neat idea that these players get to play with so many cool toys, and that they have
it's so exciting, man.
A DM that fucking writes books, the books that get published by WotC. Like, the fuck, man. It's amazing. This is something that I'm very jealous of, but but I'm also very unbelievably privileged to be able to watch this happen and this play out. It's wonderful. Wonderful. I can't talk about it enough. Hey, can I throw a couple more out?
Yeah, sure. Let's we're looking at kind of culminating here pretty quick. So
yeah. I got a good one here that I think is really funny. Travis, 2 Travis moments that I want to bring
my name's
up.
Tim. Fine.
Yeah, right. Start with T, whatever.
Travis.
Yes. So Travis, I have a question for you. No.
Sure. Tell me about Tim.
No, I've got two Travis moments here. Number 1, Ashley's Grog Stonejaw comment.
Oh, yeah. It stunned him, I think.
Oh, it totally did. He was like, and that the finger came out. He pointed that finger at Ashley.
Oh, I was walking. And he was like, see it.
Oh man, you got to go back and watch this. It's a beautiful moment. He points the finger at Ashley. And Ashley leans across the table, and she's dressed as Travis.
Yeah.
So she leans across the table and goes, "Just you try it." Like, in this deep voice. I'm like, fuck. It had me in stitches. I was killing myself. It's a beautiful, beautiful little Travis Ashley moment.
Nice.
It's a fun one to watch.
Trashly.
Oh, she puts him in his place so quickly. It's beautiful.
Nice.
That whole, yeah, it was a great one. That whole Matt's made a comment about it several times about, oh, nobody's more metal than Ashley Johnson. You guys don't even know. And it was one of those moments where I'm like, oh fuck yeah, okay, all right, there it is.
That's what they
The
say.
second
Yeah.
one, the second moment that gets me even
I
more.
think that's why she was so strong as Pike Mummy, the things where like she would just
Yeah,
look and people would chill the
Mhm.
fuck out. I
Absolutely.
think that's not necessarily Pike. I think that's Ashley being metal.
Yeah. Yeah, such a sweet, just a
I don't
little
think that's such a
sweetheart,
good
eh? And it's,
idea. That was more of a
yeah.
Fern voice, but I don't think that's a good idea.
Oh, the voice of Fern, that chaos
Sorry.
voice gets me every time.
Anyway, next one. He said
The second one that I think is going to be something that we really need to pay attention to is the moment that Laudna does something so fucking horrific that Travis has to stand up and walk away from the table.
like Travis,
I mean Travis.
not
I
his
mean
character.
Travis. No, I mean the player Travis. Listen, man, did you see the reaction? We haven't talked about this yet, but the fucking Pate de Rolo
Love
moment
that so much.
where Travis was like, "What the fuck is going on here?" And in the combat, when when Laudna gets smashed against the wall, and then
Oh, and
wipes
the
tear-
ichor, the black, yeah.
wipes the black tear from her eye, and the look on, I wrote this down. Travis cringes and takes a real deep breath. And I know what's going on in his head at that moment. He's thinking is, I have to put up with this for the next 3 years. That's good. It's got to be running through his mind. And at some moment,
That poor motherfucker.
Laudna is going to do so, because we know Travis, the whole haunted house episode where the critical role, not critical role episode, but the thing they put online where they ran Travis through the haunted house and
the goal thing. Yeah.
The remember
goal, yeah.
The stretch goal. Remember Dashilla, the diver's grave?
Yep.
And,
yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
the way how like the ring girl and this is Ford's arc, and Travis couldn't fucking handle it at the table. He's losing his mind. He's like looking away. Nope. He's constantly looking away. Laudna is going to do something that's going to make Travis walk away. He's going to get up and he's going to walk away from the table.
Yeah.
Travis, yeah, he's going to get up and he's going to walk away. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. and you know that he doesn't want to do it, but he's going to be forced to do it. And I'm very excited about that moment.
He was, yeah. I mean, just like with I forgot the lady's name, Lady something. I think it's Lady something, but it was the kobolds, like the tumor moss.
Right, the tumor moss lady.
Yeah, and he's just like, does she
the three
have
kobolds in a
potions?
trench
He's just
coat.
back by
Yeah,
the door and
yeah.
he's like, oh, just can we get potions and get the fuck out of here?
I throw my
That's
coin first and
Travis.
walk out the
That's
door.
not Ford. That's Travis.
That was not Ford. Exactly. Travis couldn't deal with it.
And
he was horrified by it.
You see Matthew lean into that shit, and like he even says that he leans into it on the Talks Machina right after when they were in the barbed fields and they saw that thing that
the hook,
and the arms coming out, and then it's just like kind of like this, and then it goes.
Yeah.
Travis was like, "Yo!" I think he had to check his fucking pants, dude. Like, and he's like, "What? Stop acting it out! Why you got to do this?"
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. The horror.
I love it.
Of it.
I love that weakness of his. It's so entertaining, and Matt uses it.
He loves it,
and you know exactly what Matt's doing when he does it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So the latter half, the post break part of that episode, it was just a little espionage for low risk, low reward type of thing, just checking shit out for the orc motherfucker. But it was just entertaining the whole time. It was just entertaining. Like you said, it seemed like they're all kind of maybe getting tired and just kind of like, all right, fuck.
The energy was down a little bit from the giddiness. Like the energy went way up for the first half, and then it came way back down for the second half, but back to a more normal level. So that was my comment. It wasn't that they were like low energy. It's just the energy level was lower, relatively speaking.
And it was very fun to watch. It was very entertaining the whole damn time, man. I loved it.
It's been two solid, great episodes that have been entertaining as fuck. It's been wonderful. I'm very excited for number 3 because we've already said we figure there's 5 episodes before they take a break. They said they're going to take a break the last week of every month. So yeah, we got 3 more in November.
Good for them. And they're not really taking breaks as far as I predict. They're actually doing shit. They just have to have the time to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all sitting on
Oh.
millions at this point because they got so much work from this endeavor.
So much. It's so good. It's wonderful.
I've got a prediction of a old BWF and AJ little Bebe maybe.
Okay. Oh,
Bebe.
Maybe.
That's not right now. I don't think that she's pregnant right now. I don't. But
no.
You know.
But there's something coming in. Maybe in the works. I mean, we'll look at the way that Travis and Laura.
Parents. I think that sure. Just that dynamic duo would be great for
parents. I think honestly
in the world.
Honestly, Foster is one of the most intelligent guys I've seen talk out of all of them. The way that he's so laser focused and intuitive. His ability to like dig deep into psyches and meaning and all of those things it's great. Love it.
Yeah, he plays it down, you know, but only of course he does, intelligent folks can be able to do that, right?
It's very self-deprecating. He's very smart and he's very self-deprecating. It's a deadly combo.
Yeah, and you sent you said that you were watching something of his. You want to plug that real quick?
I watched his. It was just.
I gotta get going got up this if morning. I'm gonna make it and pay my bill on time.
It was just a quick thing. Then I was having my coffee in the morning, and all of a sudden it came up on my. I opened up Twitch for some reason, and I saw he was streaming. I'm like, holy shit! No, I opened up Twitter, and he had posted on Twitter that he was streaming. The David, what was the guy's name? David Hilm. The guy that wrote Deadwood. He's the guy that wrote Deadwood. And he's not talking about
Deadwood.
No, Deadwood. David Milch. That's it. So David Milch was the writer creator of Deadwood and the writer creator of NYPD Blue. And what Brian Foster was doing was playing an interview from David Milch from the early 2000s, talking about his HBO experience with Deadwood and NYPD Blue and how he was able to create the characters and the all the different. He was able to do that at the time and pushing it back against the perceived stereotypes of those roles. It was really, really, really good to watch. He was watching the video, streaming, watching the video, pressing pause, explaining what he had just said, and then his take on it, and then letting it play. And then it was this wonderful little narrative about this interview. It was really good. They called it Matrix Monday. It was so cool to watch. I will definitely be tuning into more of his stuff and watching more of what BWF is doing, because I think
another thing we're going to spoil on this program.
Yeah, it might be.
We're going to spoil everything.
I only caught a few minutes of it. I watched maybe about 20 minutes and then I left the house, but it was great. It was really, really good to watch. Hey, you got to go.
I got to go pay my bill. Yeah.
All right, cool.
I had to ride that fucking train this morning with no Critical Role. Can you imagine how silent that was?
Terrible.
Jesus.
So let's call this.
Yeah, let's call it. Yeah, we'll be back here next week after the next episode. Fucking more of the same, man.
Every Tuesday we're doing this. We're gonna stream it live on Twitch, and then we'll put it up VOD on Twitch and whatever else.
Check out that fucking Discord. Check out that fucking email. I know email is a thing of the past, but hey, we are also things of the past. But Discord's gonna be up there too. I'll send a link down there in the description. Cool. Send a link. I'll put a link in there.
Check us out. Watch, like, and subscribe. Come check us out.
Yeah. And if you're one of those fucking fancy fucks, I mean, we got a nice little overlay here, but if you're even fancier than we are, hey, get in touch, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a little money to send your way if you got something you want to offer. Fucking hell.
What's this wee shit, white man?
Yeah. Join the conversation.
Please join the conversation. Come and be part
want more
of it.
People. Yeah. Sometimes I get tired of talking to this fucking asshole, so, you know. I actually don't. It's so fun to be able to talk about Critical Role. But anyway, he can't hear this right now. That's when I do this, he can't hear what I'm saying.
Huh? You say something?
No.
Okay, cool.
I was like, right. Are you free of the beat? I was doing my Bane impression.
I've been rolling the dice like 20 times here, and I still haven't rolled a 20 with this thing, so I'm going to retire.
Put my dice away. I can't compete.
All right, man. Have a good night. Go pay your bill.
Yeah. Okay, Hugh. Hey, take care. Have a fun time at your meeting, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, I got a meeting to go to too. All right.
Take care of yourself, bud.